Hey, this is Charlie Langan, and I'm going to be talking about lesson 1.1. So, firstly, for 1.1, I read Roddy and Claudel's Futurecraft. I like how it opens up with the discussion of paleo futures, which they define as early speculations about the future that will never come to pass. And this kind of connects to the common trope of, cities looking, chrome and flying cars and all that. Obviously, that future has never actually happened. So the authors proposed something called Futurecraft, and this is a method used to predict what the future actually looks like. These predictions are based on public discourse and realism, and it avoids prediction anxiety and opens up new ideas for research. Secondly, I read What is a City by Pyle. He mentions how Mumford argued that city planners tried to tackle urban growth with the physical structures of cities, and that city planners also didn't understand the actual social structure of cities. A definition for what a city is provided by John Stowe and Lewis Mumford. It's a very outdated definition, but they said that a city is a place for men to be congregated or gathered into a commonwealth. On top of this, they talk about how cities withdraw men from barbarous tendencies and promote manners and wellness. Finally, I watched the Richard Watson video that was The Future by a Futurist, and he mentions that he visualizes an internet of energy in the future, so this means kind of like a smart power grid, and this would allow for appliances and technologies to decide when and when not to use energy. He also mentions that AI will play a bigger role in the future, but we won't have to be as scared of it as we are now because AI has no reason to want to get rid of us. And finally, he talks about how some people have the drive to pretty much extend life and make death a thing of the past. Um, I agree with Richard Watson in this interview because I think that death is also a driving force that gives life meaning. So we should not do that. So yeah.
My name is Jeremy Shin, and I'll be talking about Module 1.2 and 1.3. So, The Death and Life of Great American Cities by Jane Jacobs seems to be a very revolutionary piece. Jacobs, a woman without any credentials, as stated in the Remembering Jane Jacobs video, wrote a book that challenged all the common city planning theories at the time. One of the main ideas that she talked about was the misconception of disorganized complexity when it came to modern city planning theory. Cities were mistaken as problems of simplicity and of organized complexity, which means that cities are problems with millions or billions of different variables that are not interrelated. Going against the norm, she came out and said that cities are problems of organized complexity, where all the variables are interrelated, and to solve problems in cities, we must first understand that it is a problem of organized complexity and not of disorganized complexity, which I thought was the key takeaway. The second piece that I read was the introduction of What Are Cities by Moore, Moonen, and Clark. In this, I got a lot of definitions of different terms related to how a city functions or like the theme of the city. They talked about how different countries use different terms and how the use of terms have changed over the years. Some of these different terms include smart cities, sustainable cities, livable cities, and a couple of others. The main thing that I got from this reading is how fast urbanization is taking place and how, if it's not managed properly, it could be a major threat to society and the world. In Lewis Mumford's book, What is a City, he makes the claim that social functions were not taken into account while the city was being built, and therefore the city in its entirety is a theater of social action or an economic organization. And what he means by this is The physical structure of a city gives different social groups different opportunities, and in order to create new possibilities in city life, there must be plans created that take into account limitations on populations within cities and restrictions on the design of cities and the polarization of social life, etc. Uh, this was our Module 1 video. Thank you for watching.